Now the next one I was gonna do was Ryu. Basically because you know, some people have trouble. Some people have trouble trying to figure out, like, you know, what super to use, or like how to play Ryu or something like that. So it's kind of difficult to say like how exactly you should play him. He's more of a solid type of a character where, you know, he deals a lot of damage off of punishments, but he's really restricted in what he can do. And like in terms of, like, you know, hit confirms, like with the way Ken does, like his rushdown, not all of the things that he has can hit confirm into super. So he would really have to be smart with it and, you know, use EX meter for damage, or just get close and just like do block strings that, you know, have a lot of priority. So like I was gonna start with the super select, because obviously he has 3 supers that are all perfect to use. I mean, Shin Shoryuken is perfect to use against like the weak characters, but the only downside to it is that, you know, you have to be close to the opponent. I mean, there's a way to Kara Shin Shoryuken, but it's not really worth it, because, you know, you're better off just getting, you know, you don't really want to put too much work into trying to connect the Shin Shoryuken, because it's only 1 super. You know, you only get 1 bar of it. So you really want to make sure that if you're gonna use the super, make sure that you connect it. So I would recommend this only for like the female characters, or like Akuma if you want, because if you actually if you use Shin Shoryuken against his KKZ super, his level 3 super, it actually goes through the lightning, and the ending animation of the super will hit him. But you know, aside from that, like, you know, this super it's pretty good, but, you know, you really have to be character specific on who you want to use it for. Now another you know, super that you can use is Shinkoduken. It's actually good because you can connect low short super into it. You have 2 bars of it. You get enough EX meter to do like EX fireballs, to do EX jogging kick? Where is it? Yeah, Jouden kick. But yeah, so you get enough EX meter to do anything like that, and, you know, not to mention the fact that you have the capability of hit confirming it to super. So it's one of those well balanced supers that you can use, and, like, you know, against every character if you want. But like I said before, it all depends on your playstyle. Now Denjin, I would recommend, like, if you're gonna use Denjin, at least be proficient with the other supers first before you use Denjin, because the way like me and a couple other players talked about this is that we looked at Denjin as, like, you know, it's kind of a shortcut for Ryu. Like, you know, obviously it's a stun super, so, you know, the opponent can't block it. They're forced to parry it. You can block string with it, like do like low short fireball into Denjin, and, you know, you can stun the character. But the thing is, this requires a lot of setups, a lot of knockdowns to properly use the super to its, like, maximum potential. So you really want to make sure that, you know, you can focus on, like, footsies, or, you know, focus on, like, how to get the opponent to the corner first with everything else, and then go into Denjin, because this is probably his strongest super, simply because it's a short meter bar. You can connect it off of a Shoryuken if, you know, the character isn't blocking, and pretty much if you get at least half stun bar off the character, which is highly likely with Ryu, then you'll definitely be able to get the stun like this. So, you know, it's one of those supers that, you know, you don't really want to pick up, because, you know, like, oh, the opponent can't block it, you know, I'm just gonna use it. It's not that kind of super. I mean, if you look at Vanal, I mean, in Japan, I mean, they don't really know how to deal with Denjin, but they know how to deal with the jungle factor of like that Vanel has. So basically, like you would see him do like low forward Tatsu, like full screen, and you know he would get punished for it. And a lot of the things that he does is really risky. So you don't really want to end up like that. You really want to be like very efficient with it. You don't want to, you know, just throw yourself out there and just like, you know, risk getting hit when you can just be solid and just like, you know, get the knockdown and then go into Denshin and then deal your damage. And that's the maximum effect that it would have. So if you work it properly, you'll be able to get Denshin at least twice in the span of at least 3 seconds after you use it. So depending on like, you know, how well you play will determine how fast you get Denshin again. So that's what really matters. So that's why I say, you know, focus on these two first, and then you know, focus onto Denshin. So I mean, I don't believe I have to go through his normals, because you know he has the same normals as Ken. Some of them obviously have a little more recovery than Ken's, but some of them are actually more useful. So for example, his standing forward, his close standing forward is really good. His far standing forward is really good, because as you can see, he keeps his placement right there, and it's perfect against like low forwards. So you can be like right here at this distance and you can do this move, and they can barely do anything. I mean, the most they'll be able to do is just walk up and forward parry to punish you. So obviously standing forward is one of his best moves to use. Perfect for footsies if you want to mix it up with like low strong like that. So yeah, you can mix this up with like standing strong to you know, to mix up the opponent. I mean, there's a lot of setup heavy things that you like that you can do with Ryu. Like you can do standing forward, standing strong. He's very one button from him would have to mean a whole lot. So like one low forward from him would have to go into EX Fireball for a knockdown. One low forward into Tatsu would knock him full screen and give him a knockdown. One low forward into short Jouden kick would cause a knockdown. So a lot of these things that you do with Ryu would be based on a knockdown. So, you know, when it comes to like opening up the opponent, you know, you'd have to do like grabs first, counter grab with forward strong. But aside from that, you know, it's sort of the same concept as Street Fighter 4, where you would have to do frame traps, kind of. So for example, like standing forward, low strong, standing forward, standing strong, or low short, standing strong, low strong, standing forward. I mean, it's all about the way you mix it up and how you reduce the amount of space that you can give your opponent. So basically, like if you used to be like this close, you don't really want to give them the chance to get out. So basically, the next best move to use would be standing roundhouse, because it stuffs out, you know, anti-airs, or, you know, it's good for an anti-air, excuse me. But it also does a lot of damage. It can, for some characters, it can hit them crouching, like Q or Hugo. But if they try to jump, you know, then they're gonna get stuffed out. It does a good amount of stun, and you know, it does a good chunk of damage too. So it's a good move to use. So it's all a matter of picking your moves with Ryu. So basically, just enough to do enough damage to knock them down, but then just enough pressure to open them up. You don't really want to press too many buttons because you'll be susceptible to parries. So for example, if you used to do something like standing strong, low strong, half of the time you'll probably get parried off of the low strong. But if you used to continue it like standing strong, low strong, and then low forward, you would 9 times out of 10 you'll definitely get parried by it. So it's not really something that you really want to do. So you really want to make sure that you play to the safest you can. So for example, make sure you space yourself out just enough to avoid punishment. So standing forward, standing strong, low roundhouse will probably be like a good block string to use because you'll be safe at this distance. But not only that, after the standing forward, you can go into standing strong into fireball, or standing strong into EX, or or standing strong into simply dash. So it's like I said, it's all about opening up your opponent so you can just do a strong combo and just get in your damage. So anyways, so obviously his low forward is good too. It's one of his best normals to connect it with almost everything. I mean, you can connect his Jousting kick, but only the short version. Only the short version. Yeah, only the short version. So you can be like this far and it'll connect. From this distance, well, actually, let's see max distance. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, so max distance low forward can connect into Jousting kick, and actually I would like to see how much recovery it has. So the Jousting kick short version has a startup of 10, minus 12 on block. Interesting. So, despite it being minus 12 on block, it also depends on the character that you play. So, for example, if it was like Oro or something, he can't really punish you for this. I mean, you can basically do this the whole day and he won't be able to do anything about it. Just like press what, like standing forward. so taking that into consideration, he really can't do anything. So I mean, this is an okay tactic to use against certain characters. It just has to depend on which ones you use or which ones you play against. So that's a standing forward, low forward into Jousting kick. You have low forward into Tatsu, which is perfect for a knockdown. A lot of the things that people forget to do, after a low forward Tatsu, like off of if they shore you, or any low forward Tatsu that you do and it connects, this is just a note to any Ryu player. Just make sure that when you do it, don't really dash. I don't really recommend dashing because you're better off just getting the meter by doing roundhouse Tatsu, because it gives you meter for it. So if you want to gain your distance, don't be afraid to use roundhouse Tatsu to gain that space and to gain that meter. So for example, you get a little bit more meter, whereas if you just do this, you're just on the opponent. So it's really something that I would. This is something that I just do personally. So there's no reason not to do it because you're gaining meter. So because as the third strike mechanics are, any whiffed move can be used for meter. So, and that's one of the most important aspects of Ryu, actually, the fact that, you know, he has enough meter, you know, because his meter is just as important as his super, because, you know, it'll be able to give him enough damage for like a lot. So for example, a jumping combo, look at the
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
so for example, low short fireball, low short super is 46 points of damage, whereas if you do a regular jump in from him is I mean, it's more than that. Whereas if you just do a simple crouching fierce into Shoryu, that's more than that too. So that's why, you know, using this super is actually good too, because, you know, you can, in the corner, you can connect it into another special, like a short Jouden kick or Tatsu or a standing strong or a standing roundhouse. So these are the things that you can do in the corner. But if you're like mid-screen and you want to get your damage off, one simple down parry into crouching fierce Jouden into Shoryu, that's 55 points of damage. That's more than a super. Obviously, because, you know, 49 points of damage is, you know, it's good, but I mean, it's not as good as the amount of damage that Ryu can give off. So it's one of the other reasons why Ryu's EX meter is really important. So that's that part. Now coming in from the air, another difference that he has from the other Shotos is that his jumping strong is really good. He has an overhead like Akuma, which is really good too. It's kind of slow, but I mean, against some characters, you know, it's really good. You can connect it off into super if they're crouching, I believe. Yeah, if they're crouching. As a meaty move, this can work. As a meaty move, this connects into a combo for super. So, like that. Yeah, I believe it's too far. Yeah, it's too far. I'll just do grab. So as you can see, it connects. But and it's also a really heavy meaty move. So as you can see, like I did the overhead of at least like halfway through the knockdown, and connected into super, and then you can do something after that. So it does 66 points of damage, obviously, because Ryu is crouching. Most of the time every time when characters are crouching in this game, it does more damage. So it does more damage, more hit stun, more block stun, and you know, you can connect a lot more things from it. But yeah, this is just off of the overhead. So it's another reason why this move is actually good. You can actually do overhead into a Shoryuken. Pretty sure you can. I'm pretty. Unless it's Shin Shoryuken. I think in this instance you would have to do a Shin Shoryuken. But even then, you know, it's not really something that's important. So basically, like I said before, you want to make sure that you open up the other player, basically doing like low short, low jab, or you know, any type of mix-up that you know, any type of mix-up that really opens up the opponent. So something to stop them from grabbing. So let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna do like block string with Ryu, and you'll see what happens when, you know, I try to press a button afterwards. So it's one of the reasons why, you know, block strings with Ryu is really important, because, you know, you can stuff out certain things. You know, if I try to carry grab after that, I would get hit by something. So it's just a way to open up the other opponent. By, you know, obviously first you would mix up with grabs, with carry grabs, and then do something like that. So most of the time it would beat out crouch techs, which is really good too. So basically you can consider it as like frame traps as in Street Fighter 4, but this is just like, you know, how it's done in Third Strike. But it's mainly just for Ryu because he's just a solid character. So his damage is what's most important, and the fact that, you know, his EX meters does more than just his super is, you know, is a testament to that. So, you know, most of his game can really be played any way you want. I mean, you can play solid, you can play like a turtle style, like just block everything, get one parry, and then just punish. Or you can just simply like just rush down like as much as you want. I mean, if you have the EX meter, then you can feel free to rush down with you know, with connecting EX fireballs, because obviously they're really fast. You know, they're 2 hits, so it's really hard to react to. But also the fact that, you know, his normals are really good, like his standing forward. So these are just the things to use to open up the other opponent, and that's what... wrong way. So something like that. His jump strong is really good. It's 2 hits, obviously, and I only use jump in strong against like the big characters like Urian, Hugo, Q, characters like that, because you know, obviously it's 2 hits, so it's really good. I went over standing roundhouse. EX Tatsu. This is actually another good move to use. A lot of it is like, you know, the startup of it is really good, and you know, it definitely beats out crouch techs, because, you know, you can mix it up with like low short, walk up, and then EX Tatsu, and I'm pretty sure it's safe too. I think it's like one or two frames that you can punish it for, but even then, it's one of the good EX moves to use. This is in the air. Oh, and definitely not recommended in the air. I definitely don't recommend it in the air. Yeah, it's -4, but with the distance that it puts you at, it's really good. So you'll see that if he blocks it, it pushes me far back that most 4-frame normals won't reach. I mean, aside from the fact that you also have to react to this, you know, it really makes it difficult to punish. So the only things that you can punish it with is just super. So for example, you can mix it up with standing forward, then low short into or something like that to space yourself out perfectly. So you can do like low jab, standing forward, and then that, and then you'll space yourself out perfectly for a low sweep. So these are the things to keep in mind with Ryu. Against the big characters, there are moments where you can actually jump in and land like right in their face, and then just do an EX tattoo. And you know, you can probably hit them because even if they're still crouching, they still have that tall hitbox. So I mean, I guess it's okay to use an air tattoo then, but you know, I just don't do it. It's not. I just don't do it. But yeah, so the main game plan: open them up with grabs. Make sure that you know the basics. You know what moves are safe. Like max range sweep is really good. Low forward. When spacing out, standing forward is really good. And if you want to come in, EX fireballs are good for pushback. And once you score that knockdown, that's the moment when you can just you know, start playing your game. Either go for grabs, get them to whiff, or just buffer parry in case they try to crouch stack, and then just, you know, punish them severely for it. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, you have to make sure that you focus on the EX meter, or simply just focus on staying solid by knocking them down first and then opening them up. So aside from all of this, all of this combined together would make a perfect recipe for Denjin. I mean, simply because, you know, you open up the character, you open up the player, and then that's it. Like you get a free knockdown, and then, you know, all these knockdowns that you do will give you enough meter to start your rushdown with Denjin. So for example, one low forward tattoo. And right there you go. So it's one of the reasons why it's really important to keep that EX meter, but it's also important to keep the rush down along with the spacing, because, you know, obviously block normals will give you meter, but hit normals will give you more meter. So, you know, you can see
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
you know, just one block string alone will give you at least 20% of meter, and then, you know, you can jump back and build enough for half meter, and then one combo and then you get your super. And then from here you can mix it up however way you want. You can do low short, low jab, standing strong into fireball super, like that. But another thing to make sure when you're using Denjin, you know, obviously everybody knows about, you know, when you move the stick, when you rotate the stick, or just you know, like wiggle the stick as fast as you can, it builds more meter, it builds more dension. So aside from the fact where if you hold it, it's a lot slower. Now if you do the same thing but while pressing buttons, it's actually considered an extra input, so you know it's actually faster. So here's normally. It takes a while. Here's while rotating the stick. And here's while pressing buttons. So all these combined, you know, it just as you can see, I pressed the buttons and rotated the stick, and it gave at least, what was it, 3? If the opponent parries, technically the opponent can actually parry both a low hit at the same time. So you'll see. They can actually parry in between the fireballs, so they can parry forward, then down, and then forward again, and you know they can be safe from it. But no, if the opponent parries, well, if you're talking from Ryu's point of view, then there's a couple things that you can do. You can grab them, obviously. You can do low short or something. But most of the time when the opponent is gonna parry, you will eventually